Last night I found out the remote for the this one is for GoPro.
Oh, never mind, never mind.
So since you just gave me a question about Timothy and then all the names in the Bible, let me give you a big figures. Okay. The first one is Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Adam and Eve in the Bible. Oh! Whenever we do some spiritual thing, there is always adversary. That one fell down, huh?
Yeah, I wonder why, right? I wonder why.
There's
Right?
there's a negative force. Right now we can see you and then me, but I lost at the coconut tree, but it's okay.
It's there in spirit.
Yeah. So let me continue. So the big figure's name, Adam and Eve. In the Garden of Eden, when God created earth, the Genesis, huh? We call it Genesis.
That's the creating of Earth or before Earth?
The after that's the story of the creation, how He created whole thing. That's Adam and his wife Eve.
Oh, I'm looking for my pen.
If you don't have, I have it.
Yeah.
You have it? I like this wireless one, huh? Still recording.
You got the fall and everything?
No, it's okay. So let's start like this. Today is March 8th, Sunday. We are at the Kakaaoko Beach Park with my friend Bon Jovi and myself. This is our second day to do our Bible study.
Correct.
So yesterday was not organized, and then I wasn't thinking about the filming, but last night I prepared the things, and then looks like right now we are getting better. So the Bon Jovi just asked me some of the names in the Bible. If we know those names, then when we read the Bible, we can understand better.
Yes.
So the first great names we need to know is Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. So the first book of the Bible is Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 and 2 and 3 is a creation of the whole world. And then last creation was a human being. That was Adam and Eve. God created Adam and Eve after He finished the creation of the whole world. And then He created, important messages, He created Adam and Eve in the image of Him. We were created in the image of God. So if the kindergarten students, how can I draw the picture of the God? Then it's easy to answer. Just draw me. Draw me and then draw your daddy, your mother, yourself. Then there's image of God. Okay? So God created with His image.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main central theme in Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3. There are a lot of different themes in there, but that's very, very important. God created in the image of Him. So Adam and Eve is the biggest name in the Bible. And then second name, I'm going through a chronological way. So after Adam and Eve, and then there's a big name coming out. His name is Noah. Noah is a prophet, and then there was a huge flood. You know, almost, I cannot remember how many days, almost 2 months, 2 months long, heavy rain came on this earth, and then the whole earth was flooded. But before that kind of thing happened, God notified Noah, prophet Noah, prepare the ark, Noah's ark. We call ark, big, huge ship. So Noah was chosen to prepare that because at the time the people were so wicked. So God was trying to judge all the people beside those Noah's family. So that's Noah's figure. We can go over there, the Noah's story later.
Yeah.
And
I understand Noah's story. He's a pretty famous one.
yes, that's Noah. And then after Noah, the biggest name is Abraham.
Is Noah's? Is it? I know it's called Noah's Ark, but does the Ark have a different name?
I don't think so. I don't, probably,
Ark of something or Ark of this? It's just the
we
Ark.
call it Noah's Ark.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, in Bible we call it Noah's Ark, but
He doesn't call it his Ark.
Yeah,
He calls it something else, right?
in the world, in the songwriters, they use Ark, Ark of Angels, or
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I would think if I was Noah, I would like. How do I refer to the boat?
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. That's the big name, and after Noah, and then the next big name is Abraham. Abraham is, I think, the biggest name in the Bible. If you read the New Testament, Old Testament, Abraham is everywhere. So we call him God. God used him to set the example. What the real faith? Definition of real faith, not just knowledge, but through Abraham's life. Through Abraham's life, he wanted to set the example to all the Christians and all the believers in the future. So the most popular thing, all the Christians teaching about Abraham's the faith, by telling this story. Abraham was called by God when he was 7 years old. But God promised him, God will lead him to the promised land. And then he asked him to move out of his hometown with his own family only, not with relatives and not with other people. So he moved, and then he went by God's direction. He moved out of his hometown, and then heading to he didn't know where is the promised land. He just know God will take him, lead him to the promised land. And then God also promised Abraham, your descendant will be like a stars, number of stars, will be like a sand on the beach. That means his descendant will be numerous, cannot count.
Wow.
But ironically, Adam and Eve, until they become 100 years old, they didn't have their own sons or daughters. It's a testing of their faith. Huh? God promised him that your descendants will be like stars, like sands in the ocean.
You'll have that many?
So later on it was achieved, but at the time he didn't even his own son. So they were questioning God. Huh? Okay, we're talking about God, and then this kind of rain starts. Okay, we are talking about God, and then this kind of raining is coming. I hope that camera is okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think it's passing shower. So Abraham, he got his own son when he became 100 years old. And his wife Sarah, Sarah is another big name. A lot of Sarah, the women like to name after Sarah. Sarah is Abraham's wife.
What?
Sarah is Abraham's wife. So Sarah was around 10 years younger than Abraham. So when Sarah was 90 years old, and then they got their own son. Their first son's name is Isaac. You know Isaac? A lot of people name after Isaac, huh? That Isaac is Abraham's first son. Oh, I'm glad.
Badass umbrella.
That one's a really good one. So Abraham got his son when he was 100 years old, and God tested him. God tested him. You know the Abraham story is the next time when we meet, there's 1 or 2 hours. You know the things we need to go around.
Wow. Okay.
But I'll give you the whole that really brief.
Okay.
When he got his own son Isaac, when Abraham became 100 years old, God asked Abraham, put him on an altar and then as a sacrifice. That means you need to kill your son and put him on an altar, sacrifice altar. In ancient, the Israelites, they have a burn offering. They burn things like the goats and then sheep and then some animals. They burn it and then they show their devotion to God. But this time, God asked Abraham, don't use the lamb, use your own son as the sacrifice. Abraham got that command from God. That's that's a crazy story. And then if I were Abraham, I could talk to God. God, you gave me this only son when I became 100 years old. You want to kill him and then offer to you? He didn't say that. He already knew that God has something different planned. So he took his son and then tried to kill him and put him on he burned all the wood and then he had to kill his son and then put him on the altar. He took off his knife, and then at the moment of his killing his son, God told Abraham, stop. So your faith has been tested and you've proven. At the time, we call Abraham as a father of all faith. The God is trying to show us what is real faith. But this is a 1 or 2 hours long story.
I understand.
Before he reached to that level, before he reached to that what God wants, the level that God wants to be level, he went through, for 30 years, he went through a lot of trials and then mistakes and then that kind of story. So it's more than 2 hour story there. Okay? So the Abraham and Sarah and Isaac. Isaac is his first son, huh?
Yep. This is cool. I've never actually got to know this part.
Oh, really? So let me give you just an overview, okay? Today is kind of an overview so you can understand when you read the New Testament or Old Testament, you can understand better.
Yeah, what I like
Oh, yeah. You ready, huh?
no cigarettes, so.
Yeah, you ready? So, Abraham go through that stage, and then he died, and Isaac became a new leader in his family. Isaac had two sons, Jacob and his brother Esau. Jacob and Esau is twin brothers. Esau came out first, huh? And Jacob was holding his older brother's feet when he come out of his mother's womb. So Jacob means, holding something like that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Jacob and Esau's story is very interesting too.
Wow.
Esau is the first son, huh?
Yeah.
He came out first, and then Jacob is the second son. But who is it? Isaac's wife's name. Isaac's wife's name is what is her name? I forgot her name. I'll let you know later. But Jacob's wife's name is Rachel.
Okay.
Isaac's wife's name, I can do a Google, but I can that's not an important thing. Huh? Later I can tell you. So, Jacob and Esau is twin, but they didn't get along well because Jacob's mother Rachel really favored Jacob to Esau. So there's a jealousy between Jacob and Esau.
Esau's jealous of Jacob.
Yeah. So finally, because his father, Isaac became too old that he cannot tell who is Jacob, who is Esau. In ancient Israel culture, the father need to confer the hand on the head and pass down the next leader of the company, usually to the first son. But the Jacob's mother made a trick. So Isaac put his hand over to Jacob instead of Esau. And Jacob became first. They got all the inheritance. So Esau tried to kill Jacob. That kind of thing in the Bible,
Yeah.
or the story. So he ran away to his uncle, his mother's brother. Huh? That's a long story. So that's another story for 1 or 2 hours. So Jacob and Esau and Rachel. But this Jacob became a very, very important figure in the Bible.
Okay.
He wanted to return to his father's home because he ran away. Huh? He wanted to return to his father's home. But his brother is waiting to kill him.
Wow.
So he sent his servant to his brother to make his heart soften. Finally, his brother accepted him. He was trying to going back his home from his uncle's house. Huh? On the way to meet his brother,
Okay.
in the high mountain, we call it Puniel. the mountain. He was sleeping. One night he has the dream and a vision. God's angel came down on him. They wrestled. They fought together throughout the whole night. And then Jacob holding that angel's food. If you don't bless me, I cannot let you go. So angel blessed him.
What?
After that blessing, his name changed from Jacob to most common name, Israel. The Israel came out of that fighting with the God's angel, and then Jacob won the battle.
They made Israel.
So his name changed to Israel. Israel means strong, even strong to win the fight with angels, God's angel. So, to make the long story short, the Jacob, Israel, got 12 sons with 2 or 3 different wives. At the time, it was allowed.
Okay.
So, those 12 sons became different tribes of Israelites. Israel, they have 12 different tribes according to their son's name. The most popular name is Judah. Jewish people, the ancestor of Jewish people, Judah. And next popular name is Joseph. Next popular name is Joseph. And then some other names like Judah and then Joseph is the 2 distinctive sons out of 12 sons.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a Reuben and Benjamin and some other names, but the most popular is Judah and then Joseph. So Jacob, same like his father, Jacob really liked Joseph was 11th son, almost the last son.
What?
Joseph was 11th son.
He's one of the most popular ones?
His father was a favoritism to him. All of his other brothers go out to the farm and work really hard with the sweat and then hard working. He didn't want Joseph go out and work. So Joseph would stay with his father at home. Has a beautiful different clothes. He has a most luxurious clothing. And then the other brothers went out to the farm and worked really hard. So they already have a jealousy on Joseph. Why? Our father have a favor to Joseph. So one day, the 10 brothers, the youngest brother may not go out, but the 10 brothers went out for the farm. And then the father Jacob, Israel, sent Joseph to bring some food to them because they may feel hungry while they're working on the farm. So Joseph carried some food to bring the food to his 10 older brothers. And when they saw Joseph in the farm, it's far from his father's home.
Yeah.
So they came with the idea, we need to kill him.
Wow.
Because of the jealousy. It was too strong. So they discussed together. He brought out food, but it's a good time for us to kill him because, our father is not fair. So they discussed together. But the first son, Judah said, let's not kill him. So let's just sell him as a slave to Egypt. There is some kind of slave at the time. Huh? So from Israel to Egypt, they have some trade of the slaves. So instead of kill him, sold him as a slave to Egypt. So all of a sudden Joseph could not go back to his home. And then the 10 brothers went back home, and then they brought some his clothes with the blood, and then they lied to his father. Okay, our brother Joseph was killed by the wild beast. I don't know, lion or tiger. I don't know what that is, but he was killed. So the father was really, really sad, huh? That's his most favorite son, and he died. So that's kind of story. And then Joseph's story, when he was sold to Egypt, that's another 1 or 2 hours long story.
Wow.
He became the prime minister of Egypt without any family's support, just by himself, huh? He got into prison, and then all that kind of stories. So we can see how God is working mysteriously. So that's a long story, and we can learn a lot of stuff from Joseph too. So he became a prime minister. Later, he invited all of his father and then his brothers to Egypt. So he saved his family. From that time, Israelites, the people, Israel people, they could move to Egypt because of Joseph.
They could?
Yes. So they moved to Israel, and they became a slave there for 430 years. Israelites prosper in Egypt because Joseph invited his family, and then they brought their other families and all the things, and then they became slave for 430 years. This is very interesting history of Israelites. Okay, so then next big figure. So after Joseph became a prime minister, the last Israelite moved to Egypt. Egypt was like the United States right now at the time, the biggest power, biggest, richest country at the time. So 430 years they became slaves. Have you ever seen a Ten Commandments movie? If you have a chance, go to YouTube and watch that one. That's
the plagues?
Yeah, plagues, and then all the miracles. The river became like a blood, and then the Red Sea, was parted, and they became, got out of the Egypt. That kind of story. That's so Israelites, they are chosen by God, and they became slaves. And they cried to God, why? Please, deliver us from this bondage. So God chose the prophet. His name is Moses.
Yeah.
Moses. Moses was the Hebrew, which is one of the 12 tribes, Israelites, but he could not raise by his mother because the Egyptian king tried to kill all the first sons of the Israelites. So they put him into I think if you see that movie, put him into the cage, small cage, to put the baby in it, and then put him through the river Nile, the Egyptian, the longest, the river. And then that cage went into the palace. Egyptian palace. So one of the princess found it. So she raised Moses, the baby Moses, as her own son. So Moses' life is very interesting too. So he went into the palace, and then the princess raised him. And then he almost became like a next king of Egypt. But something happened, and then he killed one of the Egyptian people, and then he should left Egypt. He left Egypt, and then he went to a very poor family, the Hebrew family.
Moses, right?
Yeah, Moses. So from one day, from his royal status, he became like a criminal,
Hey.
you know. And then God used at the time of the criminal status to prepare him to lead the Israelites from out Egyptian bondage. He became a great prophet. Wow, this rain.
Good thing, man. You got the umbrella.
I know.
Look.
It's not. I hope the camera is okay. It's waterproof, so. So King Saul was the first king, and second king was David. But David has lots of popularity from the friend.
Okay.
I mean, not friend, but from the people. So King Saul was jealous on him, even though he's a son-in-law.
And he's a king.
Yeah, next king. The David became a next king.
Okay.
But Jonathan helped him to be survived. And after David, a lot of in the king's name. One of the popular names is I don't know. It's the political system at the time. There's a king, and they have the prophets. That's a religious part. Huh? The king has a political power, but they have prophets. Something like how to compare. So they need to listen to each other. Huh?
Okay.
The king, and then because they believe in God, then God's the representative is prophet, and then king is just to helping the people to lead the people. So the most popular prophet at the time is Samuel. Sam. Most popular name among Americans, Samuel. Sam. Samuel, who else? Who else is the? Let me see their Bible, and we can find a lot of different.
Where's Luke?
Luke is in Luke and Timothy is the New Testament.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about. I think and then David's son is Solomon.
Okay.
David's son, Solomon, huh? And David he's a really strong in faith. He made a big mistake.
Yeah?
Yeah, he made a really big mistake, but the God forgave him through his sincere repentance. Mm-hmm. The story is one day, his house is second floor, the king's palace, second floor. He was, leisurely just walking around, and then downstairs, some the Israelite people, one beautiful lady taking a shower, and David was tried to take her, but she married already.
Oh.
And then her husband is one of his military, the how to call
Soldiers, lieutenants.
yeah, lieutenants or something, very high official. So David sent one of his servants and called her to his bedroom, and then they slept together. That's the Solomon. They got Solomon, king, not king, yeah, King Solomon. And then next mistake is he
That's
tried
how Solomon came about. David.
David and then Bathsheba. Her name is Bathsheba.
Homewrecker. No.
But the Bible never hide any bad stories. They just write it so we can learn from that the lessons. Huh? So I like that. So he sent his military servant to the battlefield, and then basically, make the long story short, he killed the Bathsheba's husband, David. He didn't kill by himself, but he sent somebody else, and then
The lieutenant.
yeah,
King David killed
Yeah.
King David.
no, King David killed that lieutenant,
Oh.
the Bathsheba, the lady's husband.
Dang, mortal enemies, yeah.
I know.
Mortal enemies.
See, David was a really excellent, everybody loved him. The story of David and Goliath.
Yeah, that's David.
That's David.
So, frick.
And then he became a king, and then he became very popular, and then he forgot God. He forgot God,
Wow.
and then he slept with that Bathsheba, and then he killed his Bathsheba's husband. So in the Bible, that we have a long story about it, and then after that, the David repented. The good story of it's a, if we have a good, the important spiritual thought, and then raining.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? I swear, yeah, that's insane.
So that's another thing we can discuss later. Huh? A lot of things we can discuss, about Bible. Numerous stories. Oh, this
Are
one.
there any casual enemies in the Bible, or are they all mortal enemies?
That's it. Jealousy and the enemy is popular in the world, huh? And then I can share with you why the world has that kind of devils,
Right?
enemies. That's part of the creation. He passed already.
Wow.
So that's a kind of story of David and his son Solomon. Solomon, we all know him as a king of wisdom, huh?
Okay.
Wisdom. He's so wise.
And he became from Bathsheba,
Bathsheba.
the one who showered in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm gonna shower by the king's window tonight. Shit.
Yeah.
Where you going? Nowhere. How come you showering over there? No reason. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Solomon, and then all the way down to Daniel.
Daniel.
Daniel is a later part of the history of Israelites. Israelite became really, really, successful, flourished, and then they got a lot of blessing. And then we call it the cycle of tragic. Once they blessed too much, they forgot God, and then they getting into trouble. Huh? So Israelites became really strong. And then they forgot God, and then they became a prisoner. The neighbor big island power, like what's the name of the other big countries in around Israel? they invaded Israel and then they became a slave. I mean, their country became like how to call colonized by other countries. During the time, Daniel, we consider him as a. Let me see, Daniel. Yeah, here you will. So, yeah, I think if after I talk to Daniel, I can talk to Luke, or some of the New Testament
Okay, no worries,
names.
no worries.
Okay. So Israelite became colonized by other big countries like Persia, Persia, Perus, Per,
Persia.
Persia, Persia. Yeah,
I like your way of saying
that's a big country, huh? Big country, and then they captivated the Israelites, and they became they lost the war and then became a prisoner. All the Israelites became prisoner. One of that story is Daniel. Oh my goodness! It's raining again.
Where?
Our recording may be very interesting.
Get all the umbrella openings.
Yes. It will be a good memory later. So, Daniel,
It probably looks really cool.
he was a prisoner. Yeah, he was prisoner, but his job was in the palace, close to the king. Close to the king. Prepare the food for the king. Must have a proven record, huh? Need to somebody working for the palace to prepare the king's food. If they put some poison, they can kill the king, huh? So the Daniel was like that kind of. Everybody was respect him, and then he prayed 2 times toward his country. You know, the what's the word? He was captivated to the country, and then he was praying toward his home country, and then prayed 2 times, and he was very, very, had a strong faith in God, their God, the Israelites. So, the one day, Daniel and his 3 friends, I don't know, two or three friends, were asked to do something against his belief by the Persian government. The palace workers, the higher authority, asked Daniel to do something. I need to know the details, so I can tell you later. So they got into prison, same like Joseph. They got into prison because they didn't do the things that the worldly government, Persian government, asked him to do against his belief, against God. So he refused. So they got into prison. So finally, the king was so mad, so they put them into that we call lion's den. The lion. They raised the lions. Huh? They raised the lions, and then if you put the people into that lion's place, they're gonna eat the people. Huh?
Right.
So finally, the kings commanded, put him into the lion's den. We call lion's den, D-E-N. So he got into a lion's den, and then in the scripture, Bible said that 3 people showed at the time. So the lions could not touch him. So that kind of story. The
3 people showed up.
three people showed up. You know, some of the Bible scholars said God and Jesus Christ, and then Holy Ghost. But that's the scholars is saying. But 3 people showed up. Angel showed up. Then the lions cannot touch Daniel. That kind of miracle that happened. That's the story of Daniel.
He survives the lion's den.
Yes.
No way.
So that's a lot of faith promoting stories in the Bible, huh? So that's the Old Testament's major figures. Let's go over New Testament. New Testament, the major figure is Jesus Christ, huh? The New Testament starts with the birth of Christ.
Can we take a quick break real quick?
Sure. Let's. And you wanna have a break? Let's turn it up. This
Let's,
mic. Let me. Okay.
sorry, Paul. The flies got into here for the food.
Into?
Yeah, inside.
Woo!
Broke through the steel.
So throw it away.